Well, this is episode 8, and today it's about living in Argentina. I lived there for 5 years because I wanted to learn to dance tango, and so I did. I got a job working on the internet that I could do in Buenos Aires, and I got on a plane, went down there, and then I think I told you my story already about finding out that one of my ancestors was the Minister of Interior of Argentina. His name was Guillermo Rawson, and my name is William Rawson. And he probably was my great great grandfather, is what I think at this point, from what I've found out. So, kind of a small world. But living in Argentina was kind of interesting, and that's what this is about. It's a Buenos Aires is a 24-hour city. I mean, it's just open all the time. I don't think Argentines even sleep. They have dinner at 10 o'clock in the evening, and they're through with dinner at 12 o'clock midnight. And then there are more people on the bus in Argentina going to nightclubs at 1 o'clock every night than there are going to work during the day. So this is life in Argentina. And you go to a club from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock, and then you go to the second club from 3 o'clock until, you ready? The sun comes up. If you did not see the sunrise in Argentina, you have not been out for the evening. That's the definition of being out for the evening. And then what happens is at 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, the bakeries cook all night and they open up and they serve you fresh media lunas, which is the exact same thing as a croissant, which is French, which is not French, actually. The croissant came from Vienna. It's Austrian. But in Argentina, they call the Austrian pastry, which the French call the croissant, the Argentines call it a media luna. Looks a little bit like the moon, right? Half moon. So that's going out in Argentina. And then the women that I dance tango with, they go straight to work. I danced with a girl who worked for IBM, and they go straight to work in their high heels and their tango dresses. It's just amazing. And then they work all day. I don't know how they do it. It's crazy. And in lunchtime in Argentina is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then you do your shopping or whatever after lunch about 4, 5 o'clock. And then you may take a nap before you go to cocktails at 9 o'clock, and then dinner at 10, and then it starts all over again. So Argentina is a pretty wild place, very nice people, they're very crazy, but a lot of fun. And one of my favorite stories is I met this guy, and he had a brand new iPhone. Very proud of it. I think it cost him $2,000 US, right? Shows it to me, and I go, great. And then the next day, I meet with him again. We were working on a project together on the internet, I guess, or whatever. Can't remember what the background was. And he said, oh God, he said, somebody stole my iPhone. And I went, oh shit, $2,000. And then he pulls out a new iPhone, the same thing that he had the day before. And I said, oh my God, you bought a new one already? And he says, oh, no, I solved it the Argentine way. And I said, how's that? He says, I stole this from another guy. And I went, right. Huh. So that's how he got his iPhone back. Just did what somebody did to him. Pretty crazy. And Argentina you have to be very careful there. I had a friend came from the United States, Timothy Goodwin from Houston. I actually went to school with a guy, and he had a brand new camera, and he walked out of his hotel. He was down in Retiro, and it was a beautiful hotel. I forget the name of it. And he's taking pictures with his brand new expensive German camera. I think it was a Leica or something. I can't remember. And a guy takes it out of his hand and just walks off with it, runs away, basically. And Timothy's standing there going, the guy just took my camera, and there's a policeman standing there watching this whole thing. So Timothy thought, I'm pretty safe. And the policeman just looked up at the sky and just kind of walked away. And then I explained to Timothy, I said, Timothy, the police in Argentina, they get 10%. So that's life in Argentina. You have to be very careful. But yeah, I mean, you're dealing kind of with a bunch of unruly children. And most of them are Italian, actually. The majority population in Argentina is from Italy. They came over when Italy was being, at the turn of the century, 1850s, 1840s, both Germany and Italy were unifying. And so there were a lot of wars. And there really was no Italy until about, 1850 as a country. It was a bunch of different places. Northern Italy was part of Austria, which is, and also espresso came from Austrians, not from the Italians. The Turks, after the battle trying to take Vienna, which the Istanbul Muslims lost, they left their coffee bags because they do fasting. And the Viennese found the coffee bags, and then they began to make coffee. So that's where coffee came from Turkey. And then the Italians were taken over by the Austria. Northern Italy was part of Austria, and they came up with a machine to make espresso. And so coffee and croissant are Austrian. Yeah, kind of interesting. Anyway, I got off the subject a bit there. So this is life in Argentina. You're dealing with a bunch of unruly children, and so there were a lot of political refugees, and they all went to Argentina. Some of them were Italians, and others were Germans, because the Germans were doing the same thing. They were unifying Germany, and in the 1850s, 1840s. So that's why the Germans and the Italians all migrated, political prisoners, to Argentina, and they were all pretty high-class people. And this is why tango is a kind of a haute couture dance. It's a high-class dance. It is a street dance, but it's not surprising to find people wearing tuxedos in tango. The men in the orchestras, the tango orchestras, all the men wear tuxedos. So anyway, so that's living in Argentina. It's an adventure, and I did learn to dance tango, and it was a lot of fun. Had a great time. 5 years there. Okay, so this is the end of episode 8, and I hope you found it interesting. And yeah, hey, buy me a coffee. I just bought this one myself. I haven't looked today to see what happened there, but you could buy me a coffee. It only costs $5, and you can let me know that you are enjoying what you're listening to here, because I'd like to get an audience response, and also maybe leave some comments, and of course subscribe to this channel, because this is how it gets noticed by more people. So yeah, so buy me a coffee if you can. It's at buymeacoffee.com/Derek, DERIK, Rawson, RAWSOR. I changed the N to an R. So if you click on that link, you can buy me a coffee for $5, and it'd be nice. And then I know you're there. And I'm not going to say your name. It's anonymous. I'm not going to announce your name, but if you want to be named, I'll be glad to do that. Just send me a comment or an email, and I'll thank you publicly. So this is episode 8, and it is a podcast, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing these podcasts now. I'm also posting other material as well from where I'm traveling. So that's it. Okay, bye-bye.